Ah, yes, we're live. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to HoGaLe's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself. And this is the next installment of HoGaLe. Of course, let me introduce the ladies who, of course, need no introduction, but they are here. So, of course, I have Lady G up to, I always go the wrong here. Yeah, it's opposite of the screen. And then down on there, we have Dr. Lena Rodriguez. So thank you everyone for joining us this evening. And my goodness, we've got an action-packed show for you coming up. You've written some amazing questions, but there's also been lots of changes, twists and turns in events since last week, isn't it? A week is like a month now.
I know.
So ladies, what are your thoughts before we get stuck in? Just what are your thoughts and just general of how things are going right now?
Yeah, just buckle up and get your popcorn.
Yeah.
That's all we can say.
I don't know if there's enough champagne and Valium in the world, because it's like you get these good news and then a slap across the face, and it's like that.
It's just extraordinary. And I guess many have heard many of us readers talking about the extraordinary times, but we really are living in extraordinary times.
In 500 years, they'll be talking about all this.
Yeah, absolutely. They absolutely will. So just to give you guys an overview of how the show is going to go. And of course, please don't forget to like and subscribe when you enjoy the content of the show, and the ladies' videos description are in the description as well. So please, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to them as well. So I'm going to do a little bit of astro weather.
Please.
Tiny bit of astro weather, then we're going to get stuck in. So we do astro weather, and what we're going to be talking about on the show, we're going to be, of course, discussing Fani Willis and some of people who want to kind of do the prosecution thing. That's going to be near the end. We have got some stuff about the Secret Service, obviously the Trump mugshot, which we probably should talk about next. Cheeseborough, a Scientology question, and some other bits and bobs which we'll get to. Okay, so a little bit of the astrological weather. Indulge me, guys. Now, as you know, I've been saying what ad nauseum. I've been saying the planets are going to be going retrograde early September. 6 planets retrograde, and Venus is standing still. Saturn, Mercury, and Venus are all planets of what? Finance. Planet Jupiter is also going retrograde, deals with the economy. Guess what's going on? Have you heard about the recent developments with the BRICS nations? Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Right. So for those that don't know, the BRICS nations are Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and South Africa. They're thinking of maybe putting a currency together, but guess what? They've just got bigger. They've added 6 countries, 6. So those countries that they have added, let me just get this right: Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. Oh, huge. I won't go into all the numbers of how much they've contributed to the whole thing, but you can imagine this is a huge amount of money. And this dovetails in with one of the questions that someone was asking about the dollar. So remember what I was saying, all of these planets, they also deal with finance, economy, and it shows the changes that are coming up. So it may not necessarily happen immediately, but next year, folks, almost without a doubt, there's going to be a big change. Any thoughts on that, ladies, before we get into the question?
Yes, well, for those who don't know the term BRICS and are not familiar with it, even before adding these 6, the BRICS countries represent 40% of the world's population and 40% of the world's GDP. And now they're adding Saudi and some of these others, Iran. This could literally tip the balance of power in the world.
Yeah.
It is huge. Huge. Remember, planets are symbolic, and when you get a lot of them retrograde, it means big change. And I remember looking at this for like when I was looking up a big lineup of planets in 2019, and I knew what was going to come in 2020. Anyway, let's begin.
Well, I was going to say something real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Now, Xi Jinping went. He was supposed to speak. He didn't speak, for one thing. And then he was going in to accept some medal or something. I forget what he was doing. But he had his guards and stuff with him. They grabbed him, pulled him out of the way, shut the door. And Xi Jinping is standing on the red carpet looking like, do I go forward? Do I stop? Are they going to assassinate me?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he's looking like, I mean, devastated. And he walks a few more steps and he stops again and he's looking and he's, you know, his guards are gone. They stopped him there. So, you know, and then China's in meltdown mode with their whole economy has just trashed. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that.
Isn't that interesting? Because just an extension on that, as you guys know, I was predicting, wasn't I? I said, I've looked at Xi Jinping's chart and I said, he's going to have a lot of trouble coming up, particularly in his own nation and to do with the leadership. And it seems to be panning out. Oh, we'll talk about that maybe a bit off screen because, you know, that, I mean, that is intriguing. Are we ready for the first question, ladies?
Absolutely.
All right. So this has come in from Ariana 5787. So this kind of dovetails with the BRICS thing. So she says, I love and appreciate you all. Ah, thank you. We do too. Thank you so much. My question is about the US dollar. Will it continue to compete, having been downgraded, ? Or will it be replaced with another currency? What's its future? So how appropriate. Yeah. Let's have a read. And Lady G will be pleased to know that there's a 1 or 2 1-card pulls in here as well. So.
Yeah, I love the 1-carders too.
I love the 1-card pulls.
Okay, the US economy.
US economy, dollar.
Oh, what fell out? Oh, okay.
So Lady G, just to clarify, did you say Xi Jinping's bodyguards pulled someone away or tried to pull him away?
They pulled his bodyguards away as they were going through the doors. And the African nation there that they went, they grabbed them and pulled them out and shut the doors and didn't let them go.
Wow. Okay. While he was at the African nation. Wow. Okay. The US dollar.
Whoa.
All right. Who's ready to go first? This could be quite saucy, folks. Let's see what the cards have to say.
Yes. Well, the card that leapt out of the pack was the Ace of Cups. But this is an emotional issue as much as a hard currency issue, right? So that's important. And then look at this. The Tower. So before I get to the rest of the cards, this is a critical Tower moment.
Holy moly.
Then decisions have to be made by the US, by other countries, where to from here type big question in life stuff. Well, what would that mean? Who knows with the moon card, right? Oh, God. There is here with the 2 canines, we've got the domesticated dog and the wild dog. And so there'll be conflicting approaches, I think, in the US about how to move forward. The downgrade is not fatal in itself, but it's symbolic. But the last card out is the Strength card. So I think for now, the US dollar will hold up, but it is under assault. Yeah. As the dominant currency of the world. Yeah.
Indeed. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, I have a lot of major arcana with this. this is a struggle that we're going through with it now. Going into it, this is about the big money people and about how this is going to go forward. Above it, they're not happy with the situation that's happening, you know, because of 45 and the things there. And they're kind of watching the White House and what's happening, you know, what's going to happen with that. The challenge is, excuse me, the challenge is how we go forward. What are the choices we make? And so everybody is looking at that. They're worried about above the mental drama that's happening with justice here. So I think that they're all watching what's going on with 45 and what's going to happen. Is he going to get back in power or is he not? So I think that's a big, huge thing that they're looking at and waiting to see.
Oh, that's a really good point, isn't it? Duck L'Orange and his influence. Okay, well, the cards I've got, this is quite interesting. A bit of a mixed bag here. Oh, and by the way, ladies, I'm debuting here. I mean, obviously they're not my cards, but this is my Golden Art Nouveau Tarot.
Oh, I love that deck.
Yeah, pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a bit very spangly and a bit bright. So sorry for all you might need to wear your sunglasses, folks, for this one. Now I've got these cards out. But here, so we've got here the Knight of Cups. Now we know this card is actually quite a multi-layered card. Because in the benign sense, it can be making an offer, of course, you know, charm, romance, and all of this kind of stuff. And in a funny way, the way I interpret this is, I feel like in some ways, it's almost like what the US dollar used to be, to an extent. Do you remember this was the dollar this was the currency that what everyone wanted after the Second World War? You know, it became the default currency and, you know, just rode in there almost like the charming knight to save everyone. Yeah. And everyone wanted to have dollars. However, now maybe people are starting to feel slightly differently, yeah, about their paramour. We can see here, look, Nine of Swords. So there is concern, there is worry, because what's happened is due to, you know, things like sanctions and people being naughty and all of this kind of stuff. Obviously, countries don't like being sanctioned, do they? So they need to figure out ways that they can't be so sanctioned anymore. I think that's what a big part of what this BRICS is also about. So there's some sleepless nights here in regards to the dollar. However, I've got the Four of Wands here. Now we often refer to this as the White House card, but it also is a card of stability and stuff like that. So although there are some worries, there's some sleepless nights, I'm not thinking that the dollar is going to crash overnight. Yeah. However, Russia might have an opinion on this. Yeah. As you know, I refer to the Empress as Russia. So we can see here, of course, Putinshka is very keen, very keen to that the BRICS obviously kind of take their kind of upper hand. But look at the outcome card here. It's the Seven of Pentacles. And this is also, I refer to this as the card of harvest, as you can see, but it deals with investments, yields. Now, this new currency is allegedly going to be backed with gold and oil, but it's still early days yet. So I would say the seeds are being sown and the outcome of the yield is yet to be known. But definitely Russia has a big interest in this. Anything to add to that, ladies?
Well, the sanctions on Iran that have been going for years, and regular viewers will know I don't back the idea of sanctions because they only affect normal people. But this is what's forced Iran's hand into buying and selling oil using the yen. So this has been brewing for a while. The petrodollar, which is the foundation of the Western economies, has actually already, been slightly overtaken by the yen. So this hasn't come out of nowhere,
Yeah. I think it's been brewing. It's been brewing for quite a while, and it's becoming a bigger and bigger part of geopolitics. Okay. Are we ready for the next question, ladies?
Absolutely.
All right, so the next one here, so this is coming in from Baby Blue, and this is about a question about the Secret Service. Oh my goodness, don't they have a few questions to answer? So she's written here, or maybe it could be he, but anyway, the Secret Service said they accidentally erased their cell phone messages due to routine maintenance regarding Jan 6th. Jack Smith has retrieved, she says, 3.1 million pages of their erased messages. Will any Secret Service agents be charged? Great question, eh?
Yeah. And someone asked in the chat about Fani Willis. We are dealing with that question near the end of the show.
Yeah, near the end, definitely.
So the Secret Service.
Secret Service. Just goes to show, isn't it? Nothing is ever truly deleted.
Yeah, look, absolutely. You know, I mean, if they're the Secret Service, they'd have the best disposal methods. But we all know on some level that you can't really get rid of it.
Yeah, and there's nothing like the DOJ breathing down your neck to get because you can subpoena, obviously, media services and stuff like that, like they did with Twitter/X, and you have to comply. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Secret Service. Will any of them be charged?
Wow. 6 cards and 4 major arcana.
Oh, that's huge. Secret Service.
Okay.
Who's ready to go? You ready to go, Lena?
Yeah.
Right, go for it.
Well, they're not called the Secret Service for nothing. Here's the Hermit, right?
Oh, God.
Fortunately, the Hermit has a light, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, walking away and the Moon card. Okay.
Walking away.
Yeah. So people, I think, in the Secret Service are trying to distance themselves from whoever did this. I mean, presumably in an organization of that importance, it's not, you know, Gary in the back room who makes that decision. Surely there has to be a significant chain of action before this to happen. And so people turning their backs on maybe not looking at what was being done or not attending to it, failing massively. The Hierophant's here providing some sort of stability and sanity and convention to this story. I think heads will roll. So we've got the 10 of Swords and the Hanged Man. So just with the Hanged Man too, I've introduced myself a third dimension to the Hanged Man. There's things not happening quickly. There's the new perspective. And I also find it the willing sacrifice.
Ooh.
So I think some people will be sacrificed in this process, but I haven't gone as far as will they retrieve the stuff. I don't know if either of you guys.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, underneath of it, the foundation of it I got is they're trying to charge ahead because they want to put this to rest. Above it, we have the architecture, trying to put this together, looking for the documents, but it's a big struggle they're having with that. At the center of it, this is what they've been working on. Going into it again, the messages that have to do with, again, 45, of course, all the drama. The challenge is moving this forward. There's still so many things up in the air. So I get, yeah, they're working on it, but, you know, not easy to come up with all this stuff.
Wow. I've got some pretty major arcana cards as well. And just for those of you that are just joining us as well. Oh, we've just hit 1,300. Thank you guys so much for joining us. The question is about the Secret Service. So I'm just going to read it again. Baby Blue, the Secret Service, did they accidentally erase their cell phone messages due to maintenance in regard to January 6th? Jack Smith has retrieved 3.1 million pages of their erased messages. Will any Secret Service agents be charged? So that's what the question was. Look what I get. The Tower. Oh, yeah. God. So I think is yes.
Will be charges. There will be charges.
There will be charges because now they've got all of that stuff. I mean, that is a lot. 3.1 million. I mean, first of all, that shows you how much stuff was actually going on. And it seems like the DOJ has managed to get its hands on everything and the kitchen sink and everyone's G-string and underwear as well. I mean, it's just, that is a lot. So the cards are saying that could be a real big thing. Look at the card that comes up next, the Sun. Wow, exposure. Exposure. Now, this is really interesting because technically this is the obstacle position. So really we can take these two meanings. It can show potentially how the Secret Service have tried to hide their shenanigans and wrongdoings. But obviously they've underestimated Jack Smith and his research abilities. The Sun has come out anyway. In the middle, just like here with Lena, I got the walking away as well. So there are going to be a lot of people. I think as it goes along, you're going to have a lot of people resigning. You know, yes. I resign as a way to try and avoid, accountability.
Yes, good point.
So, yeah. So I see people resigning, trying to distance them. So, it wasn't me. I was just following orders, that BS. However, what is it all about? 10 of Pentacles here. So again, it's to do with the establishment, the money. I think there were probably bribes here as well, backhanders as well from people in GOP. Obviously, Duck L'Orange would have promised some money as well. Monopoly money, of course. Yeah. Money. He probably uses chocolate money to pay his bribes. It's all bright and shiny and everyone thinks, whoa, and then they realize, it's chocolate and it's melted. Anyway, but this is talking about, establishments, legacies as well. This is also saying to me, there is potentially a legacy here within the Secret Service of doing this kind of thing. Yeah. Because they've got form, haven't they? They have form. And then the outcome card, I think this is probably Jack Smith here, sitting here as the King of Wands, watching all these shenanigans and being like, dudes and dudesses, you can say what you want, but I've got the documents now. So I think this is about action. I don't think Jack Smith is going to hold back, and he's going to pursue this with passion. So I think we'll have to see what happens with Duck L'Orange, but quite a few people facing consequences, I think, in the Secret Service. Anything to add to that, ladies?
No, but there's a comment here from Meister Tarot. Hi. I'm a huge believer that Trump was meant to be in this time to expose all the corruption going on behind the scenes for decades, and only once it's exposed can it be dealt with. And I think that's true on a certain level, on the bigger stage. Hideous as the process has been, it has shown this stuff.
Yeah. Because it is, for me, it's ironic with Trump, isn't it? Because he said, remember, he came in and he was like, drain the swamp, drain the swamp.
Which was a joke in
and
that
really
context.
What he did was, he put floodlights. He put floodlights on the swamp. It's all uplit, and we've seen all of the rather ugly creatures that are.
It's just kind of like the pimple has come to a head.
Oh, yeah, yes. Absolutely. And talking of pimples and heads, I'll put here for section 3. This is just like a little running commentary for us, because we have to kind of acknowledge it, give it a nod. Ladies, what do you think of the Trump mugshot?
That's not a mugshot. That's a man in a suit looking cranky. Don't.
Yeah, I got his very well practiced Angry Bird shot.
It doesn't even look genuine, does it? It's like, I'm El Capo.
Do you know what I'm calling it? I'm calling it blue steel. Blue Steel. Do you remember there was that comedy spoof about the male models? Do you remember that film? I can't remember who the main actor was. And there's this thing where they look and it's like,
Yeah, he always does.
yeah. So for me, that's Donald Trump, and the look that they get when you want him to look fierce is Blue Steel, or as Tyra Banks would say on America's Next Top Model, smize.
Yeah, I used to have a Chinese crested, and she did the Blue Steel look.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I mean, it's it's pretty smoldering, but isn't it also farcical as well, and so comical and so absurd, isn't it? I feel everything is like Alice in Wonderland. Yeah. Okay, are we ready for the next question? All right, so here we are. This is a one-card pull, ladies. I know we like the one-card pulls. And we did start with bricks, and now we're going back on our esoteric aeroplane. Oh, God, well, that analogy is probably not great because we're talking about Prigozhin here. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, so Teresa Cosgrove has asked, I am seeing a serious planning of revenge against Putin for the death of their leader and friends in the plane crash, and also the inner circle gathering like the senators against Putin. I see a throat slit, she's saying. Who gets him first? Now, just to show you guys a little headline here. I can't show you the paper, but there's the headline. And it said, we're coming for you, Vlad. And that's on one of our throwaway papers.
Meant to be from Wagner mercenaries sort of thing.
So they've kind of vowed revenge. So I think we should do a one-card pull. Let's just see, will they succeed in their revenge? Let's have a look. I got very piquant and mixed cards for Putin after, showing he's on the wheel of fortune, and things might change. I think maybe more towards the end of the year and then going into next. All right. Are we ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh. Could be contradictory cards. We'll see what happens. Because for me, this is them planning it. It's their instinctive collective reaction, etc. But they won't actually do it or can't actually do it.
I don't know. I kind of get a different one. They are serious about this, and they absolutely want to charge forward and take it out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And look, I've got the Ace of Swords, so they are up for it.
Yeah.
It looks like they are really up for it. But I think, in a way, maybe because I have a feeling, what if we read it the other way? So if we go my card, Lady G's card, and Lena's card, they've got the idea. They've declared their revenge. They want to charge forward at great pace, but then reality might sink in, and they might be like, "Oh,
I can see that scenario
really too. He is really dangerous."
Yeah, it's like you guys have got their momentum at the moment, and this could be the outcome. Yeah,
because once Putin starts using some kind of algorithm and some AI to basically automatically ring them all up and say, "Hey, I've got your granny here. Are you sure?"
Exactly. We're going to hold the press. Gazelle asks, she says, "Love what Stormy Daniels had to say about the Yeti's weight." I haven't heard. So, Gazelle,
what did she say?
Please let us know. What did Stormy say? She would know.
I mean, she's a character, isn't she, Stormy? She's a character.
Anyone who names their breasts independently has to be interesting.
Really?
Yeah, that's lightning and thunder.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Okay, so are we ready for the next question?
Absolutely.
All right. This one, let's just see here. We'll just do this one next here. I forgot to give it a number. Let's look at Cheeseborough. Yeah, is it Cheeseborough?
Yes.
Here we are. So Lola Herrera asked, Lola here, thank all of you for the best show in the week. Oh, thank you. That's great. Bless. Question, what is the reason Cheeseborough requested a speedy trial? I think that's quite a good one. Let's look at that. And then we'll see what the bard has to say about Cheeseborough. How about that?
Oh, yes.
And we are at over 1,500 of you now. Thank you guys so much. Cheeseborough.
And Stormy said words to the effect, I've had men of a 215 pounds and he wasn't one of them, you know.
Yeah.
Wait, say again. I've had men what?
Who weighed 215 pounds and he wasn't one of them.
Well.
Oh, you gotta love her.
Cheeseborough. Why did he go for a speedy trial? This is quite a good one to dig into, actually, because even, you know, the pundits are, are coming up with theories. Cheeseborough speedy trial. Cheeseborough speedy trial. Cheeseborough. Wow. Oh, he's got some interesting cards. Complex.
Yeah, I'm having to think about this one.
Who's ready to go? Lady G, are you maybe ready?
Sure, I could go. Well, underneath of it, the foundation is about the message going forward, and he's hoping this could have gotten tied up because above it, we have his, looking at jail time, and the challenge was facing a loss. Now, if they couldn't get their case together in time, he could have gotten off. But Fani Willis says, I'm ready, let's go. So that's what he was hoping. This is about the action taking place, the government thing, and now he's feeling a bit beleaguered because of it. The challenge was he was hoping they could not get it together in time, and that would be healing for him. He would have been able to get off and have it dismissed.
Wow.
But
Fani was ready.
Yeah, she was ready. She's ready.
So ready. Okay.
Lena, what do you have?
For him, it was his trump card. Pardon the pun. He thought his best chance was going early, which is what you were saying. He has something or a lot to say about money. We've got the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles here. It's like there's something that he will reveal about the money chain, and maybe he's worried if someone else comes out with that first, he doesn't get the credit points. Right, in terms of a potential plea deal. He thinks that's his strongest suit. He's got the dirt on the money. He's wounded, but you'd have to say it doesn't look marvellous for Cheeseborough.
I think it's backfired, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's me.
Okay, Lady G.
I already did mine.
Oh wait, yeah, you already did, didn't you? Sorry, we did it
was so memorable that it's gone right out of your mind.
Because I'm always looking at the comments and this, that, and the other. No, actually, no. Yeah. I remember things that you were saying now, and you got the Nine of Wands and him trying to kind of navigate. He's in battle state. I'm just so used to going Lena, Lady G, and then
Yeah, of course.
put it around the other way around. Sorry about that. Sorry, man. Yeah. So here we are. Look, here he is. Okay, see, look, 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups. Not really liking the options on the table. So I think he was sitting there and he's like, oh, I'm so clever. I'm a lawyer. I can figure this out. Yeah. And but really he's not like the options on the table. So he thought the best one is just like, you know what? I'll push it forward because she's probably not ready. Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oops, she's like, yeah, bring it on. And isn't it funny? Now, you guys will know I've said ad nauseum. I said things for Trump. I said 2023, it would start getting really bad from because Saturn changed sign. From August, it will get worse. And I said from October, do you remember I said October 22nd, it will get even more difficult. And she's brought this forward to October 23rd. Not directly Trump, of course, but if everything comes forward, that means it all gets sped up. So, yeah, not worked out so well. Wow, we've got over 1,800 in the room now. Thank you, guys. That suddenly leapt. Look here, the obstacle position, spy in the camp, sneaky. Well, not quite sneaking, but, you know, unpleasant messages here. I think this is Cheeseborough that was thinking he could be a bit of the slice and dice. I think he thought he could kind of slice the cheese up, slice up the bologna, bring it forward with some haste, sharpness, and then hopefully get things dismissed or, you know, put things in limbo. I think he genuinely thought he could throw a spanner in the works. The trouble is he's now tied up by his foot, and now he's seeing things from a different perspective because Fani Willis is just like, bring it on. Oops. Yeah. However, if we look here, we've got the victory card here, but again, who is the victory for who? At this stage, I can't say it's him, yeah, because if we look at the other cards that the lady's got, you know, it wasn't looking so great. So this could be maybe more. This is Fani Willis, perhaps.
Yeah.
Although we do need to talk about her because, of course, what's being foisted against her right now. And at the moment, I think he's just got to watch his pennies. Yeah, he's got to watch his pennies. His outcome card is not one of strength. I think he was hoping to strengthen his position, but look, he's just getting the crumbs just like everyone else. And I think it's backfired a bit. Yeah. Anything else to add to that, ladies?
No.
Well, the Kraken woman there wants to go quickly too, but her reasoning for it is because she's still a practicing attorney and they can't do anything while this trial is going on. But when she gets convicted, there goes her law license. Everything is done at that point anyway.
God, honestly, Sidney Powell is one of the most cray of the cray. I can't even, words fail me with that woman. It's just what the damage she's done to herself. And she knew.
Yeah, she walked into it.
Yeah,
she knew. That's so weird.
Yeah, very strange person.
Who would want her for a lawyer? I can't imagine hiring her.
Yeah, really.
Dreadful. Shall we see what the bard has to say about Cheeseborough?
Yeah. I think it's Lena's turn this time.
Is it?
No, I put my cards away. No, I went. Didn't I? Or did I just dream it?
No, Shakespeare. What does Shakespeare think about?
Yeah, I think we're up to Shakespeare. They've gone now, Lady G. I could have completely.
Oh wait, but whose turn is it to call for me?
It's Lena's turn for the bard.
So you tell me when to stop, Lena, and we'll see what Cheeseborough thinks about the bard. I mean,
ready and stop.
This is really interesting. So here, this is from Midsummer's Night's Dream. It says, I do repent the tedious minutes I have with her spent. I'm wondering if that came out last week. Let's see what's on the next page.
Yeah.
And then on the next one, it says she is ill met by moonlight. But really, I think it's
the tedious minutes.
Yeah, I do repent the tedious minutes I with her have spent. Oh, that's quite interesting, isn't it?
Isn't it? It says a lot about the man, actually.
Says a lot. Yeah.
If you're going to be a villain, at least be a dynamic, interesting villain. To be boring is the greatest crime.
I know. It's just like, it's almost like Shakespeare's like, he's not even worth insulting properly. It's just like Yawnsville.
You're an amateur. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's just so bland, Mr. Bland, who just
that's
totally
hilarious.
up himself. All right, are we ready for the next
Absolutely.
question? All right, so the next question. This is a Scientology question, folks.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh. And this is coming from Pauline Zedna. No, Zenda. Pardon me. Sorry, the spelling was quite interesting. Oh, and funny enough, for my membership, I did a reading on L. Ron Hubbard. I looked into L. Ron Hubbard's chart. Fascinating. So she writes, "Hey y'all, I heard that Tom Cruise has not been seen near Scientology centers in UK, California, or Florida. And once upon a time, I was serving him drinks way back in the day. Let me tell you, them Scientologists, I had to sign an NDA, but I can tell you this, them Scientologists know how to throw a party. I'll give them that."
Okay.
I was topping up it. Yeah. He's got his built up shoes. Remember that as well. He's really about 5'5", but with his built up shoes, he's about 5'8". Anyway, so that's Tom Cruise. So some say he regrets his shunning of suppressing person in his ex-daughter Shuri. I don't quite understand that sentence, but anyway, can you check the tarot on this? Many thanks. So basically, and it says Polly from Cleveland, Ohio. So basically, does Tom Cruise regret his associations with Scientology? Let's ask.
Maybe this should be a one-carder. I don't know.
We've got time. We've got this.
Okay.
Yeah, and after this is Fani Willis. Yeah, we've got a bit of time.
Yeah, good.
And I also, when I used to do extras work, I worked with Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible.
Oh, now there's a serious claim to fame, Hoagie.
There you go.
Mission Impossible.
In my extras days, I still love a bit of film. Daniel Craig as well in James Bond. Lots of different kind of stuff. In Another Life. Does he regret it?
I can go if you like.
Go for it.
Well, it opens with the Fool, which would be a big clue that maybe he is regretting it. Because how old is Tom Cruise now? Doesn't want to.
Getting on a bit.
But this is the card of the speaker. He was convinced by whoever converted him to Scientology at the time. He credits it with him making his fortune in a way, whatever they did or contacts they had or whatever. He does acknowledge that because he gets the Queen of Pentacles as well, the Knight and Queen of Pentacles. So he thinks it worked for him financially because I don't know if they're like the Masons or something getting deals, but now he feels ripped off. So if you look at these, the Fool and feeling ripped off, right? Because he was one of their main poster boys.
Big time.
And I think he feels he was ripped off.
Wow. Lady G, what do you have? As we have over 1,800.
Yeah, the foundation is what they tried to get away with, the strength of it, and his takeaway, what he could take away and what he had to leave with it.
Yeah.
Above it, we had a lot of, if I can pick up my card, a lot of fantasy, a lot of drama that was being offered. Because the further you go, you get into these engrams and, the aliens and there's implanted, and the further you go, the more crazy it gets. So at the center of part of it was barking mad, just craziness. going into it, he thought there was a victory with what was being given out. But then now the challenge is what was birthed wound up being a burden and a headache for him. So he went in thinking that, he's going to get all this stuff. But now, the takeaway, he's trying to figure out what he can take away and what he can leave out of the whole debacle.
Wow. Interesting, and they've got some interesting cards here. And he's a very interesting character, Tom Cruise. On set, extremely professional, very, very professional. And you have a director on set as well, but really the director is not the director, it's Tom Cruise.
Right.
He is a perfectionist and an extremely hard worker, and very accurate, very, very accurate and astute. He really is. He notices everything. That's what I can say from being on set with him once upon a time. But anyway, back to the question here. In the early days, back in the days, here he is charging on the back of his, rearing steed, the Knight of Wands here. So he was gung-ho, he was all in. Let me tell you about it. It's all about the networking, and the awards ceremony is based on how much you donate. You win an award for donating the most. Honestly, it's all back to front. Anyway, but there he is. In the beginning, he was gung-ho, young in his career, and he wanted to network and get forward. However, quickly, look at the obstacle position. We got the 5 of swords.
I think we all got that.
Oh yeah. So an abuse of power. So here we are, an abuse of power. And I just think once he got in there, I think he really started to realize maybe it's a little bit nasty. You still got to be careful what you say about those people, but there we are. But the real humdinger, look who's in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Look who's in the middle. So when you put that in, I think this talks about a lot of people who join. They're enthusiastic at the start, and then there's sort of a kind of a manipulation and abuse that happens, and then it really starts to get dark. Look, the devil. And really, what is this all about? If we look here, 3 of Pentacles, it really is about the networking, really. A lot of it's about the networking, the money, the contacts that you can make when you're in there. But of course, you're kind of attached to this guy as well. So it's a little bit, So you might make progress, but then you're attached as well. And then the outcome card here, I think this is really Tom essentially striking out on his own. He's an extraordinarily successful person, but this is also about messages as well. And, I don't think he can ever publicly come out against them per se, but it looks like he's finding his own path here. That's what I would say with that. Anything to add to that, ladies?
Nope.
All right. So this is the biggie, guys. This is the biggie. And we're going to spend some time on this because this is a major, major one. And in fact, I need to press this button here. We need to talk about Fani Willis. We need to talk about now several of you here. So this is the main question, because it's actually really quite a serious question. And let's see where this goes. So at Denise Ferguson, at Deborah Gilbert, at Dennis, Ferguson I've got as well, and Lit Artists. Many of you, of course, have asked about this. So this is the main question. Thanks, Hogarth. I enjoy the show so much, and the ladies. Posted this previous question. What will happen with J.Jordan's new investigation, into Fani Willis and her GA indictment? Someone else wrote, Lana wrote, I second this question too, for MTG was the one who was saying that she will be calling Fani Willis to answer questions in the House. Will that not be also interfering with an ongoing legal procedures? So to put into context, many of you will know, I think it's the legislator, isn't it, of the forgive me if I'm getting it wrong,
it's but GOP Georgia doing this.
GOP Georgia, And essentially, it looks like they may be trying to essentially censure or disqualify Fani Willis from.
It's terrible. It's a terrible concept.
Disgusting. So let's read on that. Will that go ahead? Will they be able to expel her? And then we'll just talk about, because this needs a bit of air.
Let's see. Fani Willis. She's safe on this. Fani will be able to do it.
Maybe I can disqualify her. I mean, words fail to describe it, really. It's just so disgusting. Oh.
Oh, 3 majors.
Yeah, me too. Wow. Okay. Who's ready to go?
You go, Lady G.
Okay, underneath of it, the foundation, he's out in the cold with the whole of the thing. Yeah, the whole shebang out in the cold. Above it, we have an ending, okay, as far as his being able to move forward with this. At the center, you know, J.Jordan is always trying to pad his wealth and pad his thing. Just look what I'm doing, yeah. But going into it, it's a tower moment for this new action he wants to do. Yeah, challenges, all of this stuff is up in the air, crazy that he's trying to juggle. He's misusing this thing that he's trying to say that he can take her out, but he's using it the wrong way. So yeah, no.
Okay, that's reassuring. And I've got here. Now, this is him, just a blunt instrument. This is my Fred Flintstone card in this context. Right? The false knight, J.Jordan. You know, aggressively, you know, literally punching down people who are standing in his way over this issue. But now here come the big guns. The world is watching, because this would tip the US into, you know, to be a complete basket case.
Yeah. Full
in terms of how the world would see it. If they can do this, you know, it has implications. Ultimately, a foolish act on behalf of J.Jordan and the others, and then the magician. So I think with this is manifestation and transformation and stuff. This will actually potentially, I hope, change from his attack into the opposite for them. It might send a few million middle of the road voters to go, I don't know what this means, but I don't like the sound of it. This is America. What are these people doing? It's all Jack Smith card.
Yeah, sometimes for me, the magician is also smoke and mirrors. So another smoke screen that they're putting.
Yes, that's a good slant.
Very good point. Okay, 5 cards, 3 major arcana. All right, full on. All right, J.Jordan. Oh, I wonder who's supporting J.Jordan. Oh, that comes up again. No, she's really enjoying herself tonight, isn't she? What's this?
Well, look, she's having a big night out.
So straight off the bat, in the context of J.Jordan, I think this is talking about the true benefactor. You know, who are the benefactors? Who's really behind this? Of course, could be allegedly Russian money. Yeah. If we look here in the next card here, we've got the Chariot going forward, which of course is all about speed, moving forward, etc. But this has turned up in the obstacle position. So even though he's got this backing, he might hit some bumps in the road with this, because let's think about it. If this actually happens and Fani Willis is dismissed from this case, then basically America is effectively a bona fide banana republic, because the message that this will send around the world, even in countries where they are circumspect with their judiciary, for this case to be launched after how many years of work with all of these indictments, and then they effectively disqualify her to defend someone who basically tried to overthrow everything and cause a coup. What kind of message is this sending to the world? Yeah. Even that the fact that we are even discussing this, the fact that this has even come up, it is disgraceful. However, let's hope, if we look here in the middle, now we know, I think this is Fani Willis, yeah? She knows how to hold her own, and I'm sure she's got something up her sleeve, up her skirts and sleeves, you know, for these douchebags, and hopefully, you know, common sense will prevail. This question shouldn't even be asked.
Yeah.
Shouldn't even be asked. It's just utterly outrageous. But look, we have the judgment card that comes out. Hopefully this will shake up people enough to, I mean, people really do have to be asking themselves, surely at this stage, do they really want to be a nation of law and order? Look, the bugle call is coming. The judgment here is coming. It's just outrageous. However, look, the outcome card is positive. So I'm hoping that what may be the case, this is this frivolous, this thing that's being brought forward, yeah, to try and basically run over Fani Willis and run over justice. He's got his foot down on the pedal and trying to run over justice. However, better judgment, I hope, comes in and then it works out okay in the end. That's how I interpret that. Anything you'd like to add to that, ladies?
There's a request, of course, for the Bard and Jim Jordan. And I also want a big shout out to Rondell Threadgate in Queensland, my old home state. Happy Sunday, Rondell.
Happy Sunday. And we've got just over 1,900 people with us, so this is remarkable. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
And then I asked real quick, what drives Jim Jordan? He doesn't like democracy.
Yeah.
He wants to put an absolute mental end to the presidency. And he's an anarchist. He just wants to shut down the government totally.
And I don't think there's anything worse than a right-wing anarchist.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Just. Shall we see? Let's see what the Bard thinks of Jim Jordan. I don't think we've had a Jim Jordan yet.
We probably had him barded maybe a year ago or something, but this is new. This will be new. Let's see what the Bard has to think about Jim Jordan. So, Lady G, you'll be calling this time. Let's have a look. Okay, tell me when to stop, and we'll see what the Bard thinks. Oh. Oh, this is really interesting. Oh, okay. This is really quite strong stuff. This is from Measure for Measure. So what the Bard has to say of Jim Jordan, he says, here you can see it here for yourselves, says, an adulterous thief, a hypocrite, a virgin violator. Wow, that's pretty strong, isn't it? And then on the other page from Love's Labour's Lost says, such is the simplicity of man to hearken after the flesh. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, it's dovetailing back into all that stuff.
Yeah.
What the Bard is saying is that he's a man out of control. If we think such is the simplicity of man to hearken after the flesh, Love's Labour's Lost, and then adulterous thief, a hypocrite, a virgin violator. So in a way, it's almost like it's almost like his approach to violating the law. Quite literally, there's no sanctity. There's nothing that's off limits to him. I think he's a really nasty piece of work, sadly. Right.
Yeah, and he's all ego in a jockstrap. So it's all about getting the front page.
Oh, indeed. Ladies, can you believe it? The hour is almost done. I think that's probably a good place to leave it. I think we covered a lot of ground tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in the comments. A lot of you joined us this evening, so we really appreciate that, and the love and the support. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, of course, and like and subscribe as well to the ladies' channels. They're in the description below. Let us know your thoughts as well in the comments, what you thought of that. I think it was quite an eclectic show tonight, wasn't it?
Very.
Some really quite punchy cards in there, quite a lot to debate and discuss. So we really appreciate that, of course. We will see you next
thanks
week.
for those great questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great questions. Really good, thoughtful questions. And of course, wonderful discourse and discussion in the chat, which is a whole thing in of itself, folks. Read through it. You really will learn. So we will leave it there. The time has gone again so quickly, and we will see you all next week. Big love. Thanks so much. Mwah! Bye, everyone.